All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. This is Jay Forsler of 4T's coming to you from the campus of the Fort Scott Community College Greyhounds. We'll be back with the start of this one in a few minutes. Thanks for joining me. All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Back to the broadcast. I should say the Fort Scott Greyhounds will. I've already got a copy. I left it for him. Thank you. On the campus of the Greyhounds, just 30 miles south of my hometown, Mound City, Kansas. So this is like coming back home. The Blue Devils will be hosted by those Greyhounds. The Blue Devils are in third place on the east side of the KJCCC and Fort Scott is in fourth place. So let's run those down. Johnson County and Cali are tied for first with 22-2 records. The Blue Devils are in third place with a 20-4 record. Fort Scott Greyhounds are in fourth place with a 15-9 record. In fifth place is Neosho with a 14-14 record. Behind them in sixth place is Coffeyville with a 6-18 record. In seventh, Allen County with a 7-21 record. In eighth place, actually tied for eighth, is Highland and Labette, each with 3-21 record. So Johnson and Johnson County and Cali College are atop the east side. On the west side, Hutchinson is in first place with a 24-4 record. Tied for second is Cloud County and Butler with 16-8 records. Tied for fourth place is Barton and Dodge City with 14-10 records. In seventh place is Colby with 7-17 record. Pratt is in eighth with a 6-22 record. And Garden City is in ninth place with a 2-22 record. So Hutchinson is atop the west side. As far as national leaders for either of the two teams today, for the national recognition, the home run in second place is Jarrett Nelson. He's tied with Eldridge of Georgia Highland, each with 22. And for your Blue Devils, McLean Finley, who will be on the mound today, is one of at least 5 guys with 10 wins, as well as he has number 3 in the nation with a 1.29 ERA. Fort Scott also has E. Smith with 11 saves, and he's top of the nation in that category. And that is pretty much the list of the national recognition going on right now. So let's meet the starting lineups for today's game. First for the KCK Blue Devils, leading off the second baseman Peyton Basler. Batting second, the third baseman Jackson Mervosh. Batting third, the shortstop Garrick Goldbeck. Batting cleanup, the catcher Brady Patterson. Batting fifth, the first baseman Frankie Santiago. Batting sixth in right field, Marcus Dirks. Batting seventh in left field, Freddie Nolan the fourth. Batting eighth, the designated hitter Levi Martin. Batting ninth, Brady Kern in center field, and McLean Finley on the mound. So it'll be Basler, Mervosh, Goldbeck, Patterson, Santiago, Dirks, Nolan the fourth, Martin, and Kern for the Blue Devils. Now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Fort Scott Greyhounds, leading off the in right field, Cole Dobrinsky. Batting second, the second baseman Luke Stout. Batting third, the first baseman Jarrett Nelson. Batting fourth in cleanup, the catcher Ty Galuski. In left field, Joey Little will bat fifth. The designated hitter will bat sixth. That's Josh Polabinski. Batting seventh in center field, Aiden Schlott. And the shortstop will bat eighth, Tristan Shigematsu. Batting ninth, the third baseman, Nick Jones. And on the mound for the Greyhounds, Gavin Drummond. So it'll be Dobrinsky, Stout, Nelson, Galuski, Little, Polabinski, Schlott, Shigematsu, and Jones. That's the starting lineups. We'll have this game ready to go here in about 10 minutes. Welcome to the broadcast. All right, everyone, welcome back to the broadcast. About ready to get going here on the campus of the Greyhounds of the Fort Scott Community College. Welcome to the broadcast for the you that have joined us for Thursday baseball, a day early on Wednesday due to the possibility of rainy weather tomorrow for the next 4 days. There's a lot of scattered showers that are going to be around that are going to cause problems for the KJCCC as well as the Pittsburgh and UCM and Western and those towns around because they play 9-inning games, one on Friday, one on Saturday, and one on Sunday for their format in each of their respective conferences. So here we go. Gavin Brummond will be on the mound. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. He has a 6-1 record, a 5.82 ERA, and we're about ready to get things going here. Basler, Mervosh, and Golbeck will be scheduled up to get things started for the Blue Devils, and it's game time. So let's take a look at things, how they go here. Peyton Basler, switch hitter. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face the righty Gavin Brummond. Basler will step in. He starts the day batting .309. Takes a ball, 1-0 the count on Peyton Basler. That's outside for ball 2-0 the count. Little Slot and Dobrinsky across the outfield left to right. Jones, Sigamatsu, Stout, and Nelson across the infield with Galuski behind the plate. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count. Sunshiny day here in Fort Scott, Kansas. Comes the 2-1. There's a foul ball that's going to be out of play down the left field line. So from 2-0 to 2-2 against the second baseman, Peyton Basler. That's outside. So Drummond goes full count with the first batter, Peyton Basler of the Blue Devils. And we're off and running here in the top of the first. There's a ball headed right up the middle, and Basler has a base hit on a line drive right out in front of Slot. So that's going to bring up Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh starts the day batting .333. He'll step in with a runner at first base and nobody out. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. Brummond and Galuski, the battery for the Greyhounds. 0-1 the count on the third baseman, Mervosh. There's a ball that just gets past the diving Nelson and hit it over to third base. So back-to-back base hits, and the Blue Devils have got runners at the corners with nobody out, and Goldbeck coming to the plate. Goldbeck starts the day batting .451. He'll step in with runners at the corners and nobody out to face Drummond. That misses just a little bit outside. Looks like a pretty good pitch to me. Little bit outside. 1-0 the count. That misses outside again, so 2-0 the count on Garrett Goldbeck. There's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. Stout over to second base, so the fielder's choice on Goldbeck. They get the runner at second, but one run in. So that'll bring up Brady Patterson. Patterson starts the day batting .319. He steps in with one out and a runner at first. There's a toss over to first base. I'll see if I can get some bookwork done here during that. It says I've got an error, but yet my phone still shows that we've got it going on out there. There's a strike called. Blue Devils with the early lead here. 0-1 the count, runner at first base. Swinging a miss and a bat out of the hands of Patterson. So quickly 0-2 the count. Stick a little pine tar on that and put it back in his hand. So he passes on the pine tar and he'll go squeeze a little bit out of it where the pine tar halfway up the bat is pretty heavy. So he'll get some pine tar from there and 0-2 the count. Another toss over to first. Swinging a miss to the high heater for the strikeout. That'll bring up the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. He'll stroll around to the left-handed side as a switch hitter to face the righty Drummond. Santiago starts the day batting .330. Check swing. Inside and down goes the pitch. 1-0 the count. Swinging a miss of a similar pitch. Thought he could catch up to it, but couldn't. 1-1 the count. Blue Devils get back-to-back base hits, and then Basler scores on the ground out. That's low and inside, so 2-1 the count. Two balls, one strike. Early going here, top of the first inning action, 2 outs. There's a ground ball way out in front of that. Headed down to the bullpen area of the Greyhounds. Drummond is from Omaha, Nebraska. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner goes, and there's a ground ball at Nelson. He corrals it, steps on the bag. So the Blue Devils get 1 run on 2 hits. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Blue Devils have a run. The Greyhounds coming up. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the first inning. On the mound for the Blue Devils, McLean Finley. He's from Topeka, Kansas. He has a 10-1 record, which makes him tied in the nation with several other, at least 5 other pitchers in the nation with 10-1s. He has a 10-1 record. His ERA is 1.29, which is third in the nation. The 2 people above him are both in the, one of them I believe is 0.2 something, and the other one is 0.5. So he is number 3 in the nation with ERA. Dobrinsky, Stout, and Nelson will be scheduled up for the Greyhounds. Nolan the fourth, Kern and Dirks left to right across the outfield. Mervosh, Gobeck, Basler, Santiago left to right across the infield with Patterson behind the plate. The right fielder, Cole Dobrinsky, will step in. Dobrinsky starts the day batting .319 and swings on the first pitch, and Kern says he'll take care of it, and he does over in right center. So that'll bring up the second baseman, Luke Stout. Stout will step in with 1 out and nobody on. Stout starts the day batting .313. He will step in to face Finley. Takes a ball for the first pitch. Swing and a miss of that pitch. One ball, one strike, 1 out, 1 run lead here in the first for the Blue Devils. There's a foul ball. High chopper rolling over toward the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes, sunshiny day here. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining me. That just misses low and outside. 2-2 the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, and an out. That sails just a little bit low on the breaking pitch. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out to the second baseman, Luke Stout. Just misses a little bit outside for a base on balls. That was that same pitch that he called a ball on the Blue Devils that I said looked like a pretty good pitch, so it is being consistent. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Jarrett Nelson. Nelson starts the day batting .378. He has 22 home runs, which is second in the nation currently. 1 out. First pitch to him is a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 that count on the first baseman, Jarrett Nelson. That goes just a little bit low. Check swing. Not requisitioned for an answer. Just ruled a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 1 run lead for the Blue Devils here in the bottom of the first. A high fly ball to right field. And that's why he is second in the nation to right field. Not a very deep field over there, but nonetheless, it's the same for everybody. And that's a 2-run home run by Nelson. That's going to make the score 2-1 now. That's what makes them tough right there is the long ball. So that's going to bring up Galuski. Galuski will step in with nobody on and one out. Takes outside ball one. Galuski starts the day batting .315. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 run lead for the Greyhounds now after that home run by Nelson. There's a foul ball. 1-2 the count. That's outside. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So Galuski goes down on a breaking pitch inside. That's going to bring up Joey Little, the left fielder. Little starts the day batting .344. He steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. A foul ball headed for the parking lot. On 1 the count. Joey Little at the plate. That's up high. 1-1 the count. Swing but didn't want to. And comes up empty with 1-2 now the count. There's a ground ball headed at Goldbeck up with it and over to Santiago. So the Greyhounds get 2 runs on 1 hit. The home run by Jarrett Nelson. We'll be back for the second inning. I'll be back. All right, had to run and get some sleeves to cover my arms. There's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. Second baseman Stout is up with that and over to Nelson for the first out of the inning. That was Marcus Dirks. Now Freddie Nolan, the 4, steps in, the left fielder. There's a strike on the inside corner, strike called. Nolan, the 4, starts the day batting .319. 0-1 the count on him. Breaking ball, and that's headed over to the right. First baseman can't see it, but it's deep. That is a fair ball taken by Dobrinsky over at the right field for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Levi Martin. Martin starts the day batting .356, takes inside ball 1-0 the count. So a ground out to second base and a fly out down the right field line, and there's 2 down, 1-0 the count. There's a strike on the outside corner to Levi Martin, the designated hitter. That must have been a little bit low. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Not sure how loud I sound out on the outside of these headphones to know if the umpire hears that, but there's no concern. There's a strike on the outside corner. That was wider, but it was higher. And there's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I got some book work to do. We're in the second inning. But since I run to the truck, so there's a strikeout. And Drummond has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We go to the bottom half of the second inning with the Greyhounds leading the Blue Devils 2-1. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Back to the mound is Finley. Polubinski, the designated hitter, will be up. There's a ground ball right back up the middle by Dolabrinsky for the base hit. That's going to bring up Aiden Slott. Slott starts the day batting .349. He steps in with nobody out and a runner at first. There's a ground ball past the diving Mervosh. So back-to-back base hits, and the Greyhounds have runners at first and second with nobody out. That's going to bring up Tristan Stigamatsu, the shortstop. Stigamatsu starts the day batting .286. He'll step in with nobody out and runners at first and second. Squares to bunt and fouls it back. 0-1 the count. On the shortstop, Stigamatsu. Polubinski at second, Slot at first. They had back-to-back hits to get this bottom of the second inning going. And there the bunt is down. And going to have to go down to first and safe. So the hard bunt towards Santiago, and he started to go to third with it. And by the time he pivoted to go down to first, that is going to go as an error, is what has been put on the scoreboard. So that'll bring up Nick Jones, the third baseman. Jones starts the day batting .214. Ball one to him, so bases loaded, nobody out. With the third baseman, Nick Jones, at the plate. That misses outside, 2-0 the count. There's a ball into center field, so 2 runs will score on the base hit by Jones. That makes it 4-1. That's going to bring up Dobrinski. Back to the top of the order, and Dobrinski going to get a visit to the mound. Runners at first and second, 2 runs into with a 4-1 lead for the Greyhounds. Cord Dobrinski is from Bristow, Oklahoma. He'll step in with still nobody out and runners at first and second. So break a little bit of the action here. Does Coach Goldbeck imparts a little bit of wisdom. Now they'll look to minimize the damage here as much as possible. Bottom of the second inning. 4-1 the lead now. Back to the top of the order. There's a bunt that's going to be foul. Almost something to try and get in the air, but didn't stay up quite long enough. So 0-1 the count now on Dobrinski, the right fielder. There's a ground ball pulled way over by the dugout where the Blue Devils are located. So 0-2 the count now on the right fielder, Cord Dobrinski. Finley could use a strikeout here or a one-hop grounder hard to one of the middle infielders. Comes the 0-2, that's high and outside. 1-2 the count. One and two, so now back at regular depth for double play now. That sweeps just a little bit low and outside. Check swing by Cord Dobrinski for a 2-2 count now. Just a little, strike 3 called. I thought that it was going to be called, and then I thought it wasn't, and then he pulled the trigger on it. So that's going to bring up Stout. He reached on a base on balls his last time up. Stout is from Midwest City, Oklahoma. He steps in with 1 out now and runners at first and second. So a double play ball here gets them out of the inning. That's outside for ball 1. Blue Devils with 1 in the first. The Greyhounds with 2 in the first. 2 so far here in the second. We're in the bottom of the second inning action. High fly ball down the left field line. Believe that's going to get out of play, and yes, it does. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 3-run lead as the Greyhounds bat here in the bottom of the second. There's another high fly ball that's going to get out of play too. So 1-2 the count now. There's a ball headed into right field. Charging hard is Dirks. They're going to hold him up, and probably a good thing they did. That's going to load up the bases for Jarrett Nelson, their home run hitter. He had a home run his last time up. Nelson is from Nixa, Missouri. He's up there now with the bases loaded and 1 out. Definitely want to keep the ball down on him. He is number 2 in the nation with home runs. That's outside. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0 pitch from Finley. Just misses a little bit inside. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes on Nelson. That's high and inside for ball 3, so 3-0 the count. You have to weigh your possibilities here if you want to give him anything that he could hit over the fence, or if you'd rather walk him and just give up 1 run. We'll see what happens. Here comes the 3-0, and there's a high fly ball down the left field line. Coming over and calls off Mervosh does Goldbeck, and Goldbeck takes care of that for the out, the second out of the inning. So that's going to bring up Galuski. Galuski struck out his last time up. Galusi is from Morgantown, West Virginia. And he steps in with the bases loaded, but 2 outs now. There's a swing and a miss of the breaking ball down low. A little bit toward the inside half of the plate. Came up empty, did the catcher, Ty Galuski. Comes the 0-1. That's down low, gets away from Patterson, but not far enough for the runner at third to score, which is Shigematsu. That breaking ball's a strike. Bottom part of the zone. One and two the count now. 2 runs in the inning, 4-1 lead for the Greyhounds. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs in each of the bottom halves of the innings for the Greyhounds. A lot of 2s on the board. Just gets a piece of that breaking ball and stays alive, does Galuski. So we'll do the 2-2 again. There's a high chopper coming in to take care of that is Basler. And over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Greyhounds get 2 runs on 3 hits. And we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Blue Devils trailing the Greyhounds 4-1. I'll be back. Thanks for joining me. All right, to the top of the 3rd we go. Blue Devils trailing 4-1. There's a strike called. That is on Brady Kern. Kern starts the day. It's a breaking ball and he fouls it away. Kern starts the day batting .340. So quickly 0-2 the count on him. That's up just a little bit. Drummond back for his 3rd inning of work. That's just a little bit low. So 2-2 the count as Brady Kern leads things off here in the top of the 3rd for the Blue Devils. All the way back to the screen, so 3-2 the count now. There's a foul ball out of play. So we'll do the 3-2 again. And there's ball 4. So Kern works the base on balls to lead things off. Back to the top of the order and Basler. Basler is from Lansing, Kansas. He'll step in as a switch hitter on the left-handed side facing the righty Drummond. Basler had a base hit up the middle his first time up and then scored a run. There's a ball headed to deep right center, and over to take care of that is Slot. So Slot goes over into right center and takes care of that line drive. That's going to bring up Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh is from Lenexa, Kansas. He'll step in with 1 out and 1 on. Blue Devils trailing by 3. Way outside. Galuski with the backhand there to keep that ball from going all the way back to the screen. So saved his pitcher a wild pitch right there. There's a ball hit into the gap in left center, and that's going to be down. Going to hold him at third as Mervosh goes into second base with a double. So runners at second and third, 1 out, and that's going to bring up Goldbeck. Goldbeck is from Kansas City, Kansas. He grounded into a fielder's choice. Second base stout over Shigematsu at short, his first time up. So Blue Devils with 1 out and a couple runners in scoring position, and that ball sails a little bit low. For ball 1, 1-0 the count. Top of the third inning action, Blue Devils trailing 4-1. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Only 1 run so far for the Blue Devils. They're looking for more right here. There's a ball headed into deep center field. Going back is Slot. Both runners will move up, so Goldbeck with the sac fly. And an RBI on that fly out to deep center field. That's going to make the score 4-2. So the Blue Devils start to chip away at that lead. That's going to bring up Patterson. Patterson is from Auburn, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at third. Swings through that pitch from Drummond. So 0-1 the count. Patterson struck out his first time up. There's that ground ball down through the coach's box where coach was not standing. So quickly 0-2 the count on Patterson. There's a ball headed into the left field corner. That's going to be a single. Nice job by Little in left field, but an RBI base hit by Patterson to make this a 4-3 game. And that's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago will step in with 2 outs. There's a ball headed deep to right field, and that's going to be over the right fielder.
Get out!
And he's going to be safe at home. Patterson came around. Coach put the brakes on him, and he about twisted an ankle, started to go back. The throw goes there, and then when the throw comes home. So the score is tied at 4. I'm going to have to do, Jeff, I'll take a look at my scoreboard. The sun's so shiny I can't see for sure what I got, but let's move forward. That Santiago gets a double to the right field wall. We're going to get a visit to the mound. I'll see if I can get things worked out on my scoreboard. Regardless of what the scoreboard shows of mine, the score here is tied 4-4. We're in the top of the third. I'll be back. All right. My scoreboard has lost contact with my software, so I'll just have to say the score more often until I can get a new scoreboard put in and onto things. Marcus Dirks is up there. He takes outside after taking a strike the first round. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. He grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. There's a ground ball backhand grab by the first baseman, Nelson, and he dives in and tags the bag. So the Blue Devils get 3 runs on 3 hits, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning all tied up. I'll be back. All right, that's going to bring up Joey Little. I think I got my scoreboard issue taken care of, but the wind is picking up, making it hard to do work, but I love doing hard work, so we'll see what happens. All right, so now Polubinski had a base hit his first time up. Little with a base hit to left field. I believe I got my scoreboard going, so now we'll see if we can't get you some good information here. There's a high pop-up over toward the first base side. I believe it's going to get out of play, and yes, it does. Polubinski had a base hit his last time up. He's from Plainfield, Illinois. He's up there with a 1-1 count, runner at first base, nobody out. There's a strike, catches the outside corner with the breaking ball. That may be the place to live right there. 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2. There's a ground ball. First base coach had thoughts of fielding that barehanded and decided better and does the Olay step. It was pretty well rocketed by. So 1-2 the count. The designated hitter, Josh Polubinski, and misses just a little bit low and outside and a check swing. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out, runner at first. That misses outside. Three balls, two strikes, nobody out. 4-4 tie here in the bottom of the third inning. Scheduled 7-inning game. There's a swing and a miss of that. Foul ball into the glove of Patterson. So that's going to bring up Aiden Slott. He had a base hit his last time up. Slott is from Willis, Texas. One out. Now there's a little toss over to first. Back in safely is Joey Little. Fastball fouled back to the screen. Bottom of the third inning action. All tied up at 4. There's a strike called. Breaking ball outside part of the plate, right at the top part of the zone, called a strike. So quickly 0-2 the count on Polubinski. That's outside, 1-2 the count. Sunshiny yet. The wind is picked up here in Fort Scott, Kansas, on the campus of the Fort Scott Community College Greyhounds. There's a ground ball, Mervosh over to Basler, and Basler chooses not to throw on over, so Slot out on a fielder's choice, 5-4. That's going to bring up Tristan Shigematsu. Shigematsu is from Ali, Hawaii, I believe is how they pronounced it when they originally introduced him. He reached on an error by the first baseman his first time up, and there's going to be a stolen base by Joey Little. So 2 outs and a runner at second base now for the shortstop, Tristan Shigematsu. That's low and outside, 2-0 the count. Way inside, so 3-0 the count. I felt like it was not a physical error, but a mental error on the error that they charged on Santiago. There's a strike outside half of the plate at the knees. It was a bunt that was bunted hard, and when Santiago took the ball, he looked at third because his momentum was taken that way, and by the time he shifted back to first, it was too late. There's another strike right through there. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second base is Little. We're all tied up at 4 here in the bottom of the third. There's a high chopper over into the dugout of the Greyhounds. So we'll do the 3-2 again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 at the plate, Shigematsu. And that's ball 4. So that's going to bring up Nick Jones. He had a base hit his last time up for 2 RBI as the number 9 hitter. He's the third baseman. Jones is from South Lake, Texas. He'll step in with 2 outs and 2 on. There's a strike breaking ball outside half of the plate called strike. 0-1 the count. Foul ball back to the screen, so quickly 0-2 the count on Nick Jones. That's way outside. 1-0 the count. One ball, 2 strikes. Jones at the plate. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So the Greyhounds get no runs. On 1 hit, we go to the top half of the 4th inning. 7-inning scheduled game. We're all tied up at 4. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the 4th inning. Nolan, the 4th is a fly ball headed to right field. Dobrinsky sizes it up and grabs that one. Nolan, the 4th, is from Fort Worth, Texas. He flies out to right field for the 2nd time. That's going to bring up Levi Martin, the designated hitter. Want to know the count on Martin. Martin is from Olathe, Kansas. Want to know the count on him. Here's a strike. Catches the inside corner. Martin struck out his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 4th, all tied up at 4. Breaking ball, and he fouls that back to the screen. So 1-2 the count on the designated hitter Levi Martin. That misses inside. 2-2 the count now. Breaking ball to Hopper to the third baseman. Jones is up with that and over to Nelson for the 5-3 ground out for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern is from Lawrence, Kansas. He reached on a base on balls his last time up. There's a strike inside corner with that fastball. 1-0 or 0-1 the count, excuse me. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So 0-2 the count. There's a ball headed into left field. It's going to be a base hit in front of the left fielder, Little. So a 2-out hit by Brady Kern. And back to the top of the order, and Peyton Basler. Basler, the second baseman. He had a base hit in the first and a fly out to slot in right center. The center fielder is second time. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Runner goes. And the stolen base by Kern. So 0-1 the count. Drummond ahead of Basler. Runner now in scoring position. Basler at the plate, but 2 outs. There's a ball headed into left field. Gonna see coach is gonna hold him up at third. Little was charging hard. And now runners at the corners to Mervosh. Mervosh has 2 hits. He had a hit to right field his first time up and a double into the left center gap his second time up. See if he can replicate one of those 2 hits. There's a strike, catches the outside corner with that breaking ball. So Drummond ahead of Mervosh, 0-1. We'll toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. Basler back in safely. Basler at first. Kern at third. Mervosh at the plate. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. See if it gets there in time. And the 1-3 ground out from Drummond down to Nelson. So Mervosh out on the bunt attempt. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We're all tied up at 4. Pitching change made by the Blue Devils. Bryson Vaughter comes to the mound. Dobrinsky, Stout, and Nelson up for the Greyhounds. Dobrinsky has been out on a fly to center field and called out on strikes. 0-1 the count on him. There's a breaking ball off the shinnies of Patterson and all the way back to the screen. Comes the 1-1. There's a foul ball headed for the parking lot. Two balls, two strikes. Nobody out as Dobrinsky, the right fielder, leads things off here in the bottom of the fourth for the Greyhounds. Breaking ball for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Luke Stout. Stout has reached on a base on balls and had a base hit into right field. He'll face Bryson Vaughter, who is on in relief of McLean Finley. Vaughter is from Topeka, Kansas. There's a strike called. He's got Nolan the fourth, Kern and Dirks across the outfield for him. Mervosh, Goldbeck, Basler, and Santiago left to right across the infield with Patterson, his battery mate, behind the plate. 0-1 the count. High fly ball into left center. Everybody on the run. Kern is going to come take care of it. And Stout is out on a fly into left center to the center fielder, Kern.
First baseman, Jarrett Nelson.
That's going to bring up Nelson. Nelson had a 2-run home run in the first and then popped out down the left field line in foul territory to Goldbeck at shortstop. A long run, but it was a high fly ball and an out. So 2 outs, nobody on. There's a swing and a miss. So Vaughter ahead of the number 3 hitter and first baseman, Jarrett Nelson, for the Greyhounds. A high pop up on the infield. Santiago coming over to take care of that, and Santiago has it. So the first 3 up, 3 down the inning for the Blue Devils. We go to the top of the 5th inning, all tied up at 4. First game of the doubleheader is a 7-inning scheduled game. I'll be back. I haven't been able to get my little commercial things going. If you'd throw us a thumbs up, it's good for the channel. If you like what you see, you want to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you want to make a donation, go to 4ts.com. There's a donation page. The sun's so bright out here, I can't hardly see my computer, so I'm hoping you guys can get a little bit of a look at what's going on, and I bring you some information. So thanks for joining me. I'll be back. All right, that's going to bring up Gary Goldbeck. He had a sac fly in the first and a sac fly in the third. Excuse me, the first it was a fielder's choice. Sac fly in a second. There's a ground ball whistled by Coach Sharp down at first. So 0-1 the count. Brumman back for another inning of work. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So quickly 0-2 the count on Goldbeck. Just misses a bit there with that one. 1-2 the count. Goldbeck, Patterson, Santiago scheduled up for the Blue Devils. There's a ball down the right field corner. That's going to be extra bases for Goldbeck as he hustles in to second base. He turned on the wheels when he saw that there might be a play. So Goldbeck with the double into the right field corner, turns on the wheels and heads for second and leads this thing off in the fifth inning. Got some paperwork to do there to get things changed. That's going to bring up Patterson. Patterson has struck out and had an RBI base hit into left field. First pitch is a ball. Top of the fifth inning action. See if I can get all my paperwork done here and up to date. 1-0 the count, turns back to second. Gonna toss it back. Does Brumman, does Stout, but nothing going on back there. Comes the 1-0. Breaking ball swings through that for the miss. 1-1 the count. Nobody out with a runner at second base after the double just inside the foul line and down into the right field corner. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop. Shigematsu up with it and over to Nelson for the out. So Patterson out on a 6-3. That's going to bring up Santiago. Frankie Santiago. He grounded out to Nelson at first base his first time up. Then he put a double over the head of the right fielder, Dubrinsky. There's a strike right at the belt, just inside half of the plate. So 0-1 the count on the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. That misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. There's a ball headed deep to right field. The right fielder looks up at that one, and Santiago drills one over the wall in right field to score Goldbeck, and the 2-run home run by Frankie Santiago. That puts the Blue Devils up by 2. So that'll bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks will step in with 1 out and nobody on now. There's a strike called. 0-1 the count on Dirks. Dirks is grounded out twice to the right side, once to the second baseman, Stout, and once unassisted to Nelson at first. So ball headed down the left field line. That's going to be a long run for everybody And a foul ball sliding attempt to make that catch from Little, but out of reach. So 0-2 quickly the count. On the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. Misses a little bit low and inside. Check swing. So 1-2 the count now. That's outside. So 2-2 the count. There's a ground ball. The third baseman, Jones, to grab that. Saves extra bases, does Jones, but that's an infield hit by Marcus Dirks. Still with just one out. So Jones over behind the bag to save extra bases, most likely. And that's going to bring up Freddie Nolan, the fourth. Going to get a visit to the mound. Nolan's been out to right field twice to Dobrinsky, once along the line and once pretty much straight into right field. So the Blue Devils have scored 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 2 in the sixth. The Greyhounds scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and we're at 6 runs on 10 hits and an error for the Blue Devils. 4 runs and 6 hits and an error for the Greyhounds. Sunshiny day here in Fort Scott, Kansas. Couple-hour trip south from KCK. So no changes being made at this time, although number 27, Rodenberg, is warming up down in the pen for the Greyhounds. Lucas Rodenberg down there warming up. Back to business here. There's a toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. Dirks back in stately. Nolan the fourth at the plate. Another toss over. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. There's a one hopper to the third baseman, over to second base and down to first. So they get the lead run at second base. Jones over to Stout for the 5-4 fielder's choice. So 2 outs now with a runner at first. Martin will step in. Levi Martin, the designated hitter. He is struck out and grounded out to Jones at third as well. First pitch to him and the runner goes. And he gets him on the slide in with the tag on the thigh going in as he slides toward the outfield side. So we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 6-4. I'll be back. right, here we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Blue Devils leading 6-4. Galuski, Little, and Polubinski scheduled up for the Greyhounds. Vaughter back for another inning of work. 1-0 the count after the first pitch to Galuski. That's down a little bit low. 2-0 the count. Galuski is struck out and grounded out to Basler at second. His 2 at bats, so 0 for 2 on the day for the catcher, Ty Galuski. There's 3-0 the count on him. There's a strike outside half of the plate. 3-1 the count. Foul ball. So from 3-0 to 3-2 we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out as Galuski leads off the bottom of the fifth for the Greyhounds. And there is base on balls. So a leadoff walk. That's going to bring up Joey Little. His last time up, he had a base hit into left field and had a stolen base. He steps in with a runner at first. That ball misses low and inside. 1-0 the count. Galuski at first. Leadoff walk to him. That high fly ball into right field. The ball is going away from, and that short porch, that is a home run down the right field line. So Little with the home run to tie this thing back up. So the walk ends up costing you a run right there. With the short fence in right field, you have to stay ready to keep the ball down and have as few walks as possible. So 6-6 now the score, and that's going to bring up Polubinski. He's had a base hit up the middle and struck out. There's a foul ball that's going to be on top of the practice building on the right-hand side. So we're all tied back up at 6. Bottom of the fifth inning action. Nobody out. There's a swing and a miss by the designated hitter, Josh Polubinski. Quickly 0-2 the count on him. Breaking ball stays outside by Vaughter. One ball, 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. Polubinski trying to convince the umpire that that was a hit by pitch. I'm not sure if it did or not. It sure looked like it could have. There's a foul ball that's headed for the parking lot. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Bottom of the fifth inning action, scheduled 7-inning game. And the strike on the swing is called. So Polubinski tries to check his swing, but can't. That's the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Aiden Slott, the center fielder. Slot had a base hit in the second. Then he reached on a fielder's choice to third base in the third. So 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch is a ball, 1-0 the count. That's down low, 2-0 the count. Bryson Vaughter on in relief of McLean. McLean went 3. It was a swing and a miss of that pitch. So 2-1 the count. It's a ground ball headed at Goldbeck. He gets a good hop and shoots it over to Santiago for the 6-3 second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Shigematsu. Shigematsu reached on an error and then reached on a base on balls. His second time up. He'll be up there with 2 outs and nobody on. Way outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Want to know the count? That's down low. 2-0 the count. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count. Shigematsu taking all the way there. Foul ball backing out of play. So from 2-0 to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 at the plate. Both teams with 2 runs in the 5th inning so far. Way up high and off the backstop and back out to the umpire and Patterson behind the plate. So 3-2 the count now. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk after the first walk of the inning, then Little with a home run. That's the 2 runs scored in the inning by the Greyhounds to tie it up at 6. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Nick Jones. He had a 2 RBI base hit in the second and a strikeout in the third. There's a throw over to first. Nothing going on over there. There's a strike right through there. 0-1 the count. Toss over to first again. Back in easily is Shigematsu. Breaking ball right there and swings through it. Does Jones. So quickly 0-2 the count on Jones. High chopper to Merval. She's up with it and throws an air to Santiago up the line. reaches on an air. So back to the top of the order and Court Dobrinsky. Dobrinsky's been out on a fly to center field to Kern and then struck out, once looking and once swinging. He'll be up there with runners at second and third and 2 outs. There's a strike right through there at the belt, right down the middle. Runners at second and third. Bottom of the 6th inning action. Breaking ball sails inside. 1-1 the count. That's high and outside. So 2-1 the count. To the right fielder, Cord Dobrinsky. Check swing back into the net. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs in the inning. For each the Blue Devils and the Greyhounds. It's a high fly ball to right field. Over to take care of that is the right fielder, Dirks. So a fly out to right field to finish it up. In the bottom of the 5th, the Greyhounds get 2 runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 6th inning, all tied up at 6. I'll be back. To the top of the 6th inning we go. The Greyhounds have made a pitching change. Lucas Rodenberg from Richmond, Missouri comes to the mound. Rodenberg has a 2.04 ERA, a 1-0 record. So far on the season, he'll come in. Face Martin, Kern, and Basler scheduled up. There's a little check swing for a foul ball. Martin has struck out and grounded out. He was up when Dirks was caught stealing from Galuski down to Shigematsu. 0-1 the count on Martin, and that's high and inside. It's about the same pitch that got the foul ball on the first pitch, so 1-1 the count. Martin leading off the top of the sixth for the Blue Devils. We're all knotted up at 6. There's a breaking ball, and Martin is hit by a pitch. So that's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern has reached on a base on balls. Had a base hit up the middle and a stolen base. Umpires trying to keep the in-the-hole hitter in the dugout instead of sitting at the edge where they can see so much. That's high and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Going to get a visit to the mound by the catcher. Easton Smith is warming up down in the bullpen for the Greyhounds, probably trying to get him just a little bit of time to get loose. One for one is Kern. He's up there with Levi Martin at first. Going to throw back down behind the square to bunt. Takes a ball, so 2-0 the count. Nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Blue Devils 6 runs on 10 hits with 2 errors. The Greyhounds 6 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. There's a strike right through there. So 2-1 the count. Two balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Runner at first base is Levi Martin. Going to throw over to first again. Probably trying to see if Kern is going to square again, but he had not committed himself at that point. There's a strike on the outside corner. Galuski looked like he was going to maybe make a throw down to first. Not sure if he and the umpire with the hand coming out for the strike ball or if the ball just slipped out of his hand, but nonetheless no throw. 2-2 the count. There's a little high chopper over the first baseman, and Shigematsu charges and over to first. So the high chopper moves the runner on the 6-3 ground out, and Martin is now over at second base. Doesn't get to be an official sack bunt, but the same effect gets him over to second base. So back to the top of the order in Basler. Basler's 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of base hits and a fly out. That misses a little bit outside. 1-0 the count. Basler trying to pull something to the right side to get Martin over to third. There's a strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. All tied up here in the top of the 6th inning. There's a ball right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit and presumably an RBI. And safe at home is Martin on the base hit by Basler. Basler hit it right back up off the pitcher's mound and into center field. So the Blue Devils now with a 7-6 lead. No lead is enough on this right field fence. So one out, runner at first base. There's a ball hit into the gap. So only able to move up to second base is is Basler, and Mervosh with another hit. So that's going to bring up Gary Goldbeck. Goldbeck will step in with runners at first and second, one out. That's a little bit low and outside for ball one. Want to know the count. That's outside for ball two. 2-0 the count now. On the Blue Devils shortstop, Gary Goldbeck. He reached on a fielder's choice that yielded a run. He had a sac fly that yielded a run. Then he led off the fifth with a double into the right field corner. There's a strike called, and he then scored on the home run by Santiago. Two balls and a strike. There's a ball headed down the left field line, and Galuski letting his third baseman know it's out, 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 out. So Jones able to cut down on the run. 2 balls, 2 strikes now, 1 out. Goldbeck at the plate. Blue Devils have scored 1 to untie this thing here in the top of the 6th. That's outside. 3-2 the count. That's been a ball out there every day today. Don't know why there's so much fussing going on. It's been called a ball all day. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. And that's inside for ball 4. That'll bring up Brady Patterson. Patterson will step in with 1 out and the bases full of Blue Devils. First pitch to Patterson is a strike, 0-1 the count. Way outside, 1-1 the count. Basler at third. Mervosh at second. Goldbeck at first. There's a strike called, catches the outside corner. That's pretty wide right there, but it's been called a strike a lot out there today. That one's pretty wide, but nonetheless, 1-2 the count now on Patterson. Patterson going to just have to get contact with this pitch. Foul ball backing out of play. So we'll do the 1-2 again. Patterson looking to make contact. Bases full of Blue Devils. Patterson at the plate. Strikeout, RBI base hit, and a ground out. There's a ball headed into left field. That's going to score one. So Patterson with the RBI base hit right between the third baseman and shortstop. That's going to make it an 8-7 game. So now that's going to bring up Frankie Santiago with the bases loaded. He'll be up on the left-handed side. He had a 2-run home run his last time up. That foul ball over into the dugout. Santiago has grounded out to first base, had a double over the right fielder's head, and a 2-run home run over the fence in right field. Rodenberg on in relief of Drummond. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. There's a strike-breaking ball, makes it back to the strike zone. So 1-2 the count. So Santiago now needs to go into 2-strike hit mode, make some contact here. 1 out, bases full of Blue Devils. That's up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just misses a little bit outside. The Greyhound faithful wanted the punch out there. The Blue Devils liked the call. So 3-2 the count now. 1 out, bases loaded. It's a foul ball back and out of play. We'll do the 3-2 again. Santiago earns another pitch. Strike 3 called. So Santiago on the punch out. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks has grounded out a couple of times and had a base hit to left field not past Jones, but was an infield hit, and that's down low. 8-6 lead for the Blue Devils. There's a high chopper that's going to be foul, headed down to first base. Nelson grab that and throw it into the dugout, and we'll do the 1-1 now. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And that misses for ball 2, 2-1 the count now. On the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. That's high and inside, so 3-1 the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases full of Blue Devils. They lead by 2 as they bat here in the top of the 6th. Scheduled 7-inning game per conference situation. There's a line drive, and it bopped out of the glove to Stout, but he was able to get up and take it over to Nelson for the 4-3 ground out. So the Blue Devils get 2 runs on 3 hits. And we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 8-6. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Vaughter back for another inning of work. Unfortunately, the sun is getting tougher for me instead of better. A lot of fields where we are, the sun gets better, but it's going to make it tougher. But we'll bring something to you. Hope for the camera gives you a little bit of something. Stout is leading things off. Stout, Nelson, and Galuski scheduled up. Stout has reached on a base on balls, had a base hit, and flew out to Kern in center field. He's down in the count 0-2 here. There's a ball all the way back to the screen. And a hit by pitch. Nothing I hate more, but nonetheless, down to first goes Stout. Lead off hit by pitch. And that's going to bring up Nelson. Nelson had a home run in the first, a 2-run home run. Popped out in shallow left field in foul territory to Golbeck. And then popped out to Santiago in foul territory down at first base. So 1 for 3 on the day for him. There's a foul ball down the left field line, and that's out in front of that for foul. Owen won the count. Vaughter on the mound. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Runner at first base. Blue Devils leading 8-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Scheduled 7-inning game per conference rules. First game's a 7, second one's a 9. There's a line drive into left field. And a base hit for Nelson. That's going to bring up Galuski. Galuski has struck out, grounded out, and reached on a base on balls. So the tying runs are on for the Greyhounds here in the bottom of the 6th. For the catcher, Galuski. Going to get a visit to the mound. We'll see if there's any changes. I'll be back. right, the pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Number 20, Dalton Smith comes on. He has a 2.65 ERA. He has a 3-1 record. He's from Raymore, Missouri. And that's going to bring up Galuski. I believe I had announced him. He struck out, grounded out, and walked. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. Going to go to first base with it for the 1-3 sack bunt by Galuski. So now it's going to bring up Little. Little will step in with one out and runners at second and third. Little has made out, and then he had a single and then a 2-run home run his last at bat. There was a breaking ball, went just a little bit low, 1-0 the count. Tying run is now at second base, 1 out. There's a high fly ball to Kern in center field. The run from home is going to score from third and the runner. So the sack bunt and the sack fly for an RBI cuts the lead to 1. That's going to bring up Polabinski. 2 outs now with a runner at second base. That breaking ball was a little bit low. Eight to 7 now the score. It's a strike called 1-1 the count. Dalton Smith from Raymore, Missouri, on in relief of Vaughter, who was on in relief of Finley. 1-1 the count, runner at second base. That's outside, 2-1 the count. So a hit by pitch, a base hit, a sack bunt, and a sack fly. And the score is 8-7. There's a strike called outside corner at the knees. That was one of those ones that both teams have felt like was low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So Coach Hill is going to call Polabinski down and say, hey, forget about that pitch right there. You got another strike left. Get up there and get us a hit is what they would like. What the Blue Devils would like could be a strikeout right here to minimize only 1 run in the inning. Blue Devils leading 8-7. Bottom of the 6th inning action. 7 innings scheduled game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's low and outside, so 3-2 the count now. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's ball 4. So runners now at first and second. The tying run is still at second base. That's going to bring up Aiden Slot. Slot is 1 for 3 on the day with a ground out reached on a a base hit reached on a fielder's choice and a ground out. There's a foul ball back and over the top of us. Owen won the count. Swing and a miss of the high heater. So 0-2 the count now. Smith could use a strikeout right here. There's a foul ball backing out of play. So Slot earns himself another pitch. That's down low. 1-2 the count. So 1-2 is the count, but it's going to be the sixth pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball headed up the middle. It's going to be picked up by Basler and over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. So the Greyhounds get 1 run on 1 hit, and we go to the top of the 7th inning. Blue Devils leading 8-7. Hey, stay with us. We got a good one here. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Greyhounds. Number 18, Wyatt Foley. He's from Girard, Kansas. Foley will go to the mound. He has an 8.53 ERA and a 2-3 record on the season. He comes to the mound in relief for the Greyhounds. The Blue Devils will send up Nolan the fourth, Martin, and Kern with a 1-run lead. Nolan the fourth, he's been out on a couple of flies and reached on a fielder's choice to the third baseman. Foley will face him. There's a strike inside corner at the knees. Oh, 1 the count. That misses just a little bit low and inside. One ball, one strike as Nolan the fourth leads off the top of the seventh for the Blue Devils. They lead by one. 7-inning schedule game. There's a breaking ball right through there. Nice breaking ball right there by Foley. High heater for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Martin. Martin has struck out, grounded out, and been hit by a pitch. So 0 for 2 on the day is Martin. He'll face Foley for the first time. Little Slot and Dobrinsky on the outfield. There's a swing of the check swing rule to strike. So Little Slot, Dobrinsky across the outfield. Jones, Shigematsu, Stout, and Nelson across the infield. And Galuski behind the plate. And Foley on in relief of Rodenberg and Drummond. And a swing on that pitch. Breaking ball outside part of the plate, but ruled a strike due to the swing. So quickly 0-2 the count on Levi Martin, the designated hitter. Another breaking ball right through there for the strikeout. So there's the punch out. So a couple of strikeouts by Foley, and that's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern has reached on a base on balls. Had a base hit and a stolen base and a high chopper on a nice play behind the mound for Shigematsu to get him. There's a strike called. That's that outside pitch that both teams have complained about all day long, but nonetheless, it's been consistently called a strike right there all day long. 0-1 the count. Breaking ball outside. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. Breaking ball, and that's going to go shallow right field. And that's going to be taken care of by Stout. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Devils lead by 1. The Greyhounds need 1 to keep this going, 2 to walk it off. We'll be back. All right, the Blue Devils have put Pachorik in right field and moved Dirks over to left. Smith back for another inning of work. Blue Devils lead by 1. Shigematsu, Jones, and Dobrinsky scheduled up for the Greyhounds. 0-1 the count on Shigematsu. There's one all the way back to the screen. So 1-1 the count on Shigematsu. He reached on an error when he bunted, and then 2 base on balls since then. There's a strike right on the outside corner, 1-2 the count. 7 innings scheduled game now. First game of the doubleheaders are a 7, so we're in that bottom of the 7th inning. This is it here, provided tying things up. Basler's going to take that and over to first. So the high chopper, and Basler charges hard and gets the 4-3 ground out, a big out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Nick Jones. Jones has a base hit for 2 RBI, struck out and reached on an error. He'll be up there with 1 out and nobody on. So it's Dirks Kern Pachorik. There's a strike that's back to the screen. So it'll be Dirks Kern Pachorik left to right across the outfield. Mervosh, Golbeck, Basler, Santiago with Smith on the mound and Patterson behind the plate. 1 out, 0-1 the count. There's a breaking ball. That would be one of those pitches where everybody's saying, how can it be a strike if the catcher can't catch it? But nonetheless, 0-2 the count. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Foul ball down the right field line, out of play. It's going to be over in between their workout building and their indoor workout building and their hitting cages. 1-2 the count. Blue Devils with a 1-run lead, bottom of the 7th. That's up high. 2-2 the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Nick Jones. That's down low, so 3-2 the count now to the number 9 hitter, the third baseman, Nick Jones. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So back to the top of the order, and Cord Dobrinsky, the right fielder, will come up. Dobrinsky has been out on a fly. Couple of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging, and then another fly out to right field. Swing and a miss of that fastball. So quickly 0-1 the count on Cord Dobrinsky. Strike 2, outside corner. That right there, Dobrinsky kind of cocked his head to the side. He's going, yeah, dead gummit. That's been a strike all day long. Now I'm 0-2. The Greyhounds down to their last strike for the time being. Foul ball back to the screen. So the right fielder, Dobrinsky, earns another pitch. So 0-2 the count on him. Sunshiny day, Fort Scott, Kansas. 7th inning of a 7-inning scheduled game. Blue Devils lead by 1. Another foul back to the screen. We'll do it again. Comes the 0-2 inside. Dobrinsky was hoping that one would get his thigh to get him down to first to get the tying run on. but no luck with that. 1-2 the count. Another foul ball back to the screen. So 1-2 is the count, but he has fouled off 3 pitches with 2 strikes. So the 7th pitch of the at-bat is coming up. Comes the wind in the 1-2. Just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's a tough pitch right there to take, but it's also a tough pitch to try and foul away. So here comes the 2-2. That's outside, so we'll go full. Blue Devils clinging to a 1-run lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th, 3-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. The Blue Devils hang on to take the first game of this doubleheader, 8-7. We'll take about 25 minutes. We'll reload our scorecards, work and see if we can get our setup to be a little more sun-friendly, and we'll be back. The Blue Devils take this first one, and they win it 8-7. We'll be back.